That to be on. Hey, you guys, am I live? Am I live? My hair look a mess on the side. Hey, y'all, let me close my closet door real quick too. I got the closet door open. Hello, everyone. Hello. Thank you for coming to my channel. Thank you, Shria, for being up in my comments, letting everybody know to come on in and that this is adult content, girl. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Absolutely. You Shria, we gotta talk. I'm gonna literally I know I ain't supposed to do this, Shria, but I'm brushing my hair right now on the screen because I have been doing last minute stuff. I had to move some stuff around last minute. And you know how you be moving too fast and you mess around and you done forgot where you put something. I was looking for my mouse and my eyeliner, but I was like, I'm already in here and it's 3:30. So Yushraya, you know how like my lives, whenever I do a screen share, how sometimes it'll stall and everything. So yesterday, when I like early yesterday morning, when I was on YouTube, I was looking and I was watching somebody's channel. I think it was Armand, right? And okay, sis, that's cool. Thank you so much. I'm gonna just keep highlighting the things that you already put in there. I'm gonna just keep highlighting it like that. And because I know Raven is at work too. So thank you so much for even being in here while you at work, girl. I appreciate that. And today is gonna be a good live. I'm gonna actually try to just keep it down to an hour, no longer than an hour and a half. But like I was saying, thank y'all so much for being here. I appreciate it. Even with me changing the time because I was gonna do it at 2:30, but I ended up saying, you know what, it's best to just do it at 3:30. So today's live, we have been doing lives about Krishan, right? And I'm really big on like, I love you too. We're gonna talk. We're gonna talk later. We're gonna talk later. But yes, and thank you for putting my emojis in there too, y'all. That chest pieces are my emojis because of how I chose my name. So I'll explain that to y'all at another time because I'm trying to keep this to a 1 hour thing. Let me go ahead and go to the other thing. So I saw where another YouTuber was like, he was like, the video is downloading. So I was like, well, let me try to download my video so that way I'll be able to like watch the video without any interruptions. So I did the little download thing and it said 1 month free, enjoy free YouTube downloads, music premium, and more membership. So I'm gonna try it now and see how it works. Let me see. Downloads, okay. So I'm gonna go to my downloads. And I guess I can turn on, you always have something to watch, turn on smart download. It should be downloaded already. It should be downloaded already. Child, hold up. Hold on, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen now so y'all can see what I'm doing because it's looking crazy. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen now. I love you. Thank you so much. I feel your love and support, sis. I feel it. But I'm going to go ahead and share my screen now so y'all see because this is what I actually need. Um, Somebody who is tech savvy to really show me. Let me turn my TV to my thing. Hold on, y'all. All right, so I'm gonna share the screen because I downloaded the interview with Jason Lee. That's what I want to download, but now it look like it's downloading so many things. Updated smart downloads. Hold up now, I don't want all of that. I just want the Carlissa interview. Hold, we're doing too much. That's too many. I put download, put smart download. No, how can I stop this, child? Let me go back. Let me see. Okay. Now I'm gonna just do keep this window open to continue. I don't want to do that. Lord, look, look at what is at the bottom of my screen, y'all. It's still going. That's crazy. But this is the interview that I wanted to. That energy, y'all. If my energy not, it's very comes at me differently. I am not a victim. I am a victor, and I am into problem solving. If there's a problem, I don't want to harp on it. I don't want to talk about it. I just want to solve it and push through. I want to push through with my lives on the days that I don't want to go live, on the days that I want to not do it, are the days that I'm going to make sure that I do it because this is what I want and I believe in myself. If nothing or nobody else believe in me, I believe in me. So I'm going to continue to push myself to do better. Now, let me mute this. Now, you guys continue to please put ones in the chat, or like you try it, you can put the chess pieces in the chat to let me know that everything is going great, everything is being played at the correct time and everything. So I'm going to go ahead and start now. I don't want to play the music part because it could be tricky with the music thing, right? So this is fair use. This video put up like about a month, or matter of fact, it's been like 2 months since this video was put up. So he got his views that he gonna get. So now it's time for us to actually review this live. I actually think that it was a great live. You know, Jason Lee is not perfect, nobody is, but in this particular situation with this show and this podcast that he did with Carlissa, it was very eye-opening about Blueface. And if you remember, can you close my own closet door? Lighter? I don't have one. I think it's one in the it might be one in here. I think it's one in the it might be one. I saw a black one in here last night. Oh, there you go. It's be careful because it's a butane like it. Here, go ahead. Put it in the drawer in the kitchen. Just click it. Yep, just like that. Just put that in the drawer in the kitchen. All right. But yeah, you guys. So just what was I saying? Okay, yeah. So I felt like this interview was very enlightening. When we were talking about the last interview, talking issue with Bone, right? That Krishan did. She said that Blueface wrote that song, the song about I remember rainy days, and I was telling y'all that if Blueface wrote that song, then that's the part of him that he felt. He felt rainy days. So she said that he wrote the lyrics, and it was really his song, and she just put her voice on it. So that actually made me want to look into Blueface's life a little bit because we both know that both of them, every time I talk about Krishan, everybody reminds me that Blueface is not good and he's not a good person either. Okay, at the end of the day, we're human and all humans go through things. All humans hurt people or hurt each other, whether they do it intentionally or unintentionally. So what I'm interested in this moment and in this series that I told y'all we was gonna be doing about Krishan, I want to look at every single detail. I want to look at every single story to try to make sense of everything, right? So what Jason Lee did was amazing. He did an interview with Blueface mom after he interviewed Blueface and Jaden, and then Krishan. He interviewed Carlissa, and I think that this was right after she had finally saw her grandson. So in this interview, you're gonna notice that she shows Krishan more grace. You're gonna notice her being real. One thing I love about this interview is that she actually owned mishaps as a mother, or I wouldn't say mishaps because it's no handbook to be a mom, but I feel like she actually owned certain mistakes that she has made, and I'm all about doing that myself. I want to own the mistakes that I have made, and it means something when you do that for your children. So I commend her for that. I Y'all are going to see some mistakes that she made. Y'all are going to see some ups and some downs. But I feel like in this interview, this is the most insight that I feel that I have gotten about the whole situation with this chat that we are in with Blueface and Krishan. So I'm not gonna hold y'all no longer. Let's get into it. Put ones in the comments when if everything is going great. If there is any issues at all whatsoever, if I see a two in the comment, then I'm gonna stop and fix whatever the issue is. Hopefully this works and everything goes accordingly. Y'all see it's 3 hours, so this is gonna be three parts. Let's get it.
3 or 4 years apart.
Okay. And so when you were raising him, what was life like in the house?
That he actually had a good life. You.
Let me do my
Hold up. I'm gonna pause it first and see if we can get back on track. Let me see if I thought I downloaded this video yesterday, but I might need to do it again if it's not playing right.
talking about Blueface and Krishan and Jaden. And you have been a part of the conversation from the beginning of what now are people are now calling the group chat they want to be taken out of. Do you see that online where people say, please take us out of the group chat?
I see it.
Okay. I want Instagram posts, viral clips. I would say you rock out with your out, but you just blast out with your out. We're gonna talk about all that. But let's first establish one thing, because we've had your son here a couple times and I've known him for a while, and I've admired his growth and how he's been able to pivot from being an artist to now a viral sensation and actually putting everybody in situations to be intrigued by wanting to know who he was. And we know that I've learned through the show and through getting to know him that he's played football and he's, Carlos's child. What is it about his upbringing, specifically his parenting and how he was raised?
Well, him per se, I think he doesn't want to share that. He actually had a good life. He actually, done some things and seen some things. I think I don't know what rappers. I feel like they want to play like, they've been through hell and back. And I feel like he didn't get enough of that. Maybe that he, I can't. I honestly, I'm at a loss for words.
Okay.
I try to figure it out myself all the time, but I feel like he wants to have had more of a, when you listen to his peers in this industry, they've, our mom's on drugs, we don't know where our dad is. That's not the case for him. So I feel like he just probably wants his story to be
that it was all doom and gloom. I mean, he talked about the fact that he was an all-star athlete, that he played sports.
Guys, I'm trying to make sure that the video is downloaded because I downloaded this video. Hold on, because I see that it's kind of playing a little bit slow. Yeah, I'm gonna maybe speed it up just a little bit. I'm gonna speed it up just a little bit. And we can put the subtitles on there. All right. Now, maybe if I my downloads, show chat replay, subscribe, join. It don't say download. Is it playing good for y'all? Like, are y'all able to hear it and see it? Because if y'all having issues seeing it, then I want to fix it. Autoplay is on. Subtitles, closed captions, settings. If I exit the full screen real quick, I can download, make sure I downloaded it. It's not giving me that option. So I got YouTube Premium, so I want my downloads. I want my download. All right, download from description. All right, it's downloading. Continue. All right, while it's downloading, I'm gonna talk to you guys because like child any issues like as far as um 1 of 11, 2 of 11 keep. I'm just gonna let it keep. As y'all can see that it's doing this. I'm under construction, you guys. Really today is just gonna be one of them days where I'm under construction. I'm trying to figure some stuff out that I did not know. And I'm becoming more tech savvy. So I'll just talk to y'all while I wait on this to download, y'all. I'm gonna have to do. Good day, anybody that is here. Um, I really want you guys to know that with my moderator, my friend, Ystraya and Raven, they put in the comments, to donate. Anything that you guys donate will be put back into this channel unless one of my children need it for something. But also, it's more than just a donation. A donation could be sharing my video, liking my video, subscribing to my channel. Those are the things that I need. I want these videos to be, pushed out. And like my girl Miss O said, the more that you guys comment in the chat, the more that the algorithm can pick up my video and put my video in the algorithm. I'm going to be hanging out in YouTube Studio a lot more than I used to, so that I can continue to learn how to navigate my YouTube in a way that I want it to be. I'm still going to be doing like vlog type things like with my lives. I went on a walk with my son 2 days last week and I was live while I was doing it, but I want to figure out how to just make it better. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm be honest with you guys. I'm probably gonna end up finishing my vision board on my own because I want it to be done before the end of January. And it's certain things that I want to have on there, like I don't want to just do the writing. I did the writing 2 years in a row, and it did help with things that I wanted to change in my life or things that I wanted to. But I want to use pictures this time. You know, I want to do more than just downloading 3 of 11. Lord, come on. I just want, and hopefully, because we're gonna go hour by hour.
You know, we get a lot of our moments here. We've had Blueface and Krishan, then we have Blueface and Jay. And then we have Krishan Rock, but they would only make one thing right about that whole situation. That is closing the gap. Listen, first of all, I met you before at my birthday party, but I was too inebriated to remember everything. So I want to say hello. Again.
Thank you.
Nice to see you.
And I actually had an invite.
You know, she started out with the shade. I said, and I didn't mean that in a shady way. I said, I don't know how she got the information, but I told my staff a list of people to invite to the show, and they DM'd everybody, and I forgot I had told them the whole list. So thank you for coming.
I know my little feelings was a little.
I saw.
I put on my best blue dress.
You did. Did you enjoy the party?
I did. I had a good time.
Dance. You're not old. We're almost the same age. You know that. I'm 46, so we're
Oh, okay. Go ahead on then, Jason.
That's why we had to dance for. We wanted to make sure that we were having an experience with people.
Let me get ones if everything is going good.
I'm glad that you were able to.
Please put it to.
Okay, so
I had no idea.
Yeah, that was 46.
So you over there trying to be my son, sugar daddy?
No, I'm not.
Shame on you.
Let me do my job. No, I'm not.
You're right, my bad.
So those of you that have been following everything over here at the Jason Lee Show, you know that we've been talking about Blueface and Krishan and Jaden, and you have been a part of the conversation from the beginning of what now are people are now calling the group chat they want to be taken out of. Do you see? I want to first get to know who you are because I really only know you through. Say you rock.
See and hear this. Let me go to.
But we know his name is Jonathan Porter. We know
so
that.
This is what we're gonna do then. Y'all already know. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna take it back to the old. We're gonna go back to the TV till I figure out how to get these videos downloaded the way that I want them to be. So I'm just gonna simply turn the computer around, honey, and we're gonna watch the video like that. So let me go ahead and put my TV on it. Cause I ain't playing no games this year. I'm not. I'm gonna have to edit and repurpose this video and just cut this part out. And we'll start over like that. But thank you for the people who are hanging in there with me. We're just gonna simply watch it on the TV, honey. All right. Shout out to Hollywood Unlocked. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to you, Jason. You've been having some epic interviews. And this is another one of your epic interviews, honey. So let me turn the computer around. Let me go ahead and exit this. Just will stop sharing. Boom.
There's only one call, that's all. Call 770-820-0690 to get help today.
Y'all ready? We're about to start this thing over again. We're about to do it again, you guys. I love y'all so much. Thank y'all so much for hanging in there. We're going to start this all over. Now, we're getting ready to watch Blueface's mother's interview. Thank you for coming to my channel. We're going to get to learn more about what's going on with Blueface and Chrisean and how that song Rainy Days affected and what it meant to Blueface.
Episode of Jason Lee Show. Now, you know, we get a lot of our moments here. We had Blueface and Chrisean, then we had Blueface and Jay, and then we had Chrisean Rock. But they would only make one thing right about that whole situation. That is closing the gap in the Holy Trinity. So we brought the one and only Carlissa Sappho to the show. Listen, first of all, I've met you before at my birthday party, but I was too inebriated to remember everything. So I want to say hello again.
Thank you.
Nice to see you.
And I actually had an invite.
You know, she started out with the shade. I said, and I didn't mean that in a shady way. I said, I don't know how she got the information, but I told my staff a list of people to invite to the show, and they DM'd everybody, and I forgot I had told them the whole list. So thank you for coming.
I know my little feelings.
I saw.
Oh, like I put on my best blue dress. A long time, so that was pretty good.
Well, the whole purpose of what I wanted to create, you know, Hollywood people go out, they don't want to dance. Everybody stands around, looks at each other. We built a dance floor. Did you see the dance floor?
Yeah, y'all stand around. Old folks, we still dance.
Well,
I was out there.
You're not old. We're almost the same age. Know that.
What?
I'm 46, so we're, yeah.
Oh, okay. Go ahead on then, Jason.
That's why we had the dance floor. We wanted to make sure that we were
Go ahead on then, Jason.
an experience where people could come and feel the vibrations, and they did. I'm glad that you were able to make it and have a good time.
Thank you.
Okay, so
I had no idea.
yeah, that was
So
46.
you over there trying to be my son, sugar daddy?
Oh Lord, Carlos.
No, I'm not.
Shame on you.
Let me do my job. No, I'm not.
You're right, my bad.
So those of you that have been following everything over here at the Jason Lee Show, you know that we've been talking about Blueface and Chrisean and Jaden, and you have been a part of the conversation from the beginning of what now are people are now calling the group chat they want to be taken out of. Do you see that online where people say, please take us out of the group chat?
I see it.
Okay, I want to first get to know who you are because I really only know you through Instagram posts, viral clips. I would say you rock out with your out, but you just blast out with so we're gonna talk about all of that. But let's first establish one thing because we've had your son here a couple times and I've known him for a while and I've admired his growth and how he's been able to pivot from being an artist to now a viral sensation and actually putting everybody in situations to be talked about on a daily basis just by virtue of his life. But I've always been intrigued by wanting to know who he was as a person outside of Blueface the rapper. We know his name is Jonathan Porter. We know that he, you know, I've learned through the show and through getting to know him that he's played football and he's, you know, he's Carlissa's child. But when I ask him about his upbringing, he doesn't really want to get into it. What is it about his upbringing, specifically his parenting and how he was raised that makes him not want to share?
Okay.
I think they're honestly, well, him per se, I think he doesn't want to share that he actually had a good life. He actually, you know, done some things and seen some things. You know, I think, I don't know what rappers, I feel like they want to play like, you know, they've been through hell and back.
Right.
You know, and I feel like he didn't get enough of that maybe that he, you know, I'm at a loss for words for it. Okay. I try to figure it out myself all the time, but I feel like he wants to have had more of a, you know, when you listen to his peers in this industry, they've, you know, our mom's on drugs, you know, we don't know where our dad is. That's not the case for him. So I feel like he just probably wants his story to be a little bit more Rambo.
Well, he hasn't really shared.
Okay, now that's interesting. She's saying Jason Lee said when he asked him about his childhood that he doesn't really have an answer, that he kind of like strays away from that. And her answer to Jason was basically that he had a great childhood and that maybe, his peers, which means other rappers, have had a different, type of struggle growing up that he didn't have, and that maybe that's the only reason why he doesn't want to think about his childhood. But I want to keep in mind that he wrote the song Rainy Days. He wrote that song. So I just want to take that note as we continue to go on with the interview. Let's put that on our notebook, on our notepads. I got it on mine.
It was all doom and gloom. I mean, he talked about the fact that he was an all-star athlete, that he played sports, that he went to college.
All-star athlete.
He was an actor.
He didn't share that he was an actor, but he did share. When I would talk.
Put a 1 in the comment if you knew that Blueface was an actor as a kid and an all-star athlete. Put a 1 in the comments, even if you're watching the replay. Put replay, hashtag replay game, and then put a 1 if you knew that, and put a 2 if you did not know that. Because watching this interview, I had no idea that Blueface was actually an all-star athlete and that he actually was an actor as well. I did not know that.
How he was raised. And I would want to think back to the first interview I had with him and Krishan, where I was trying to establish, maybe similarities they may have had in growing up, where Krishan told her story, where she had a challenge upbringing. And then when I asked him, or I mentioned in the interview that I thought he had a good upbringing, I think if I could recall, Krishan made it sound like he was protecting his upbringing, that there were challenges in the house that he didn't want to talk about. Maybe not necessarily gangs, because this was pre-schoolyard crib, but how was the upbringing? Like, how was raising Jonathan? Was his dad present, absent? Was it all on you by yourself?
I would say it was 75%. I would say 75 to 80% by myself. His father did, however, show up and do, what he could. But obviously, when you are two different homes, there's not very much you could do. His father got married very early on after I had him. He might have been not even a year or two when his father got married to someone else.
Okay.
So naturally, if his father is there, he couldn't be, there with Jonathan. But he made sure that he was at every game. If we needed him or, we had to call him for something, he was there. But he didn't have his father, to go out and throw the ball with him sometimes when he wanted to.
Okay.
So I would say 80% of the time I was by myself.
And so you had 3 kids. He's the
baby.
He's the baby. So you had your son,
Andre,
and then Callie,
and then
Jonathan.
And then Blue. And they're all about 3 or 4 years apart.
Okay. And so when you were raising him, what was life like in the house with the 3 of them?
Crazy.
Okay.
They're all crazy.
Crazy.
they're the outspoken kids. They're the kids on the playground, all 3 of them across the board. They weren't shy. Blue was, however, a little bit more shy than the others, but Callie and Dre, I had to go up to the school every 5 minutes and talk to the teachers and deal with.
Blue was a little bit more shy. Callie and Dre was a little bit more rowdy. Okay, that happens with kids. Let's keep going.
Different situations. So they were definitely the class clowns and the fun kids on the playground. Now, however, they did grow up on 81st and Broadway, also in South Central Los Angeles. So you know what that's like. So
nah, because I don't go there. My car don't go.
I guess that means that's rough. I guess 85th in South Central in California, which I have been there, and the 2 neighborhoods that were told to me that were the roughest was South Central, Watts, and Compton. I believe Long Beach too, I believe. And Pomona too. San Fernando Valley. I don't remember exactly what, how you go places sometimes and you might remember certain stuff, but you don't remember everything. It's one of those things. But basically, South Central was not a place that Jason Lee would ever go to, so we can tell that was the hood, obviously.
That's Wilshire. I stay on this side of town.
Yeah, didn't nobody tell me that. I'm from Ohio. So, you know, when I got to Section 8, I was like, shit, let me find out a house. And I ended up on 81st and Broadway.
I thought you guys were in the Valley, though.
No, Jonathan's never lived in the Valley.
He didn't. I thought he went to school in the Valley.
So he went to school. Once my older son went to jail. Okay. I don't want to rush you on your job.
No, I'm following you.
But once Andre went to jail, I panicked and was like, "We got to get out of here." But by then, he had already been over there.
Okay. So when you moved from Ohio, you relocated here. Were you with kids or without kids?
I came here with Andre. He was 2 years old.
And then you moved to the.
We started in the Valley, and then when I met John's dad, we ended up in LA.
Okay, so when you were in the Valley with Andre's dad, how was raising Andre different in that environment?
Okay, so let's back up because you know I got 3 baby daddies. I'm transparent all across the board. I don't sugarcoat shit.
We got codes. We know.
Okay, so I have Andre's dad. I left because he was my neighbor and he wasn't very, well-to-do.
Don't forget to put the ones in the comments.
I was 17 years old in Ohio.
In Ohio, okay.
And so I left that and I came out here to be an actress. So I left his dad there and I just brought my son with me. Like, we're just getting ready to come out here and ball out and do this, us. I met Janice's dad and, he was well-to-do and I ended up getting pregnant. But he had a situation with his baby mama already. And then I got pregnant and then she got pregnant. Their kids are 9 months apart. So it's kind of almost identical to what Krishan is going through with.
I love you.
So then I left though. I left immediately.
Hold on, wait a minute. She said it was damn near identical. Hold on, we almost missed something there. She said it was. Okay. Can I do it after I get off? Oh, okay. Okay. Use that camera on the counter. All right, so I think she said it was almost identical to the lifestyle pretty much that Krishan had. But she left. Basically, I think she's trying to say that the whole baby father situation, she gonna go more into it. Let's let her tell us.
We got codes, we know.
Okay, so I have Andre's dad. I left because he was my neighbor and he wasn't very, well-to-do.
In LA, here.
I was 17 years old in Ohio.
In Ohio, okay.
And so I left that and I came out here to be an actress. So I left his dad there and I just brought my son with me. Like, we're just getting ready to come out here and ball out and do this, us. I met Janice's dad and, he was well-to-do and I ended up getting pregnant. But he had a situation with his baby mama already. And then I got pregnant and then she got pregnant. Their kids are 9 months apart. So it's kind of almost identical to what Krishan is going through with Blue. Mm-hmm. So then I left though. I left immediately. And so my friend, my neighbor I worked in the mall at the time, at the Crenshaw Mall. Mm-hmm. And John's dad, he stayed with me through the whole pregnancy. I had the baby, we got married, and then I had Blue.
Mm. Okay. So Andre's dad, when you got pregnant at 17 and you left, did he stay involved in Andre's life, or was that?
So I didn't tell him that he was Andre's dad because it was between him and my boyfriend. He was my neighbor, so I kind of confided in him. I had a cheating boyfriend running around, running here, running there, taking my car, doing this, doing that.
You had a boyfriend at the time you got pregnant with Andre?
Yeah.
By another guy?
Yeah. So I had a love interest for a couple years.
So the neighbor who you were confiding in?
He was confiding in me.
Literally?
Yes. Lord. And it was my first orgasm. So then I was like,
oh my gosh.
Oh, fuck, that can't be good, right? So then 9 months later, I kept doing that calendar. You know how you do you don't know what I'm talking about, but I was doing that calendar and I just got sick of the calendar and I ran.
Okay. Let's break down what that means. And it's no judgment over here, Carlissa. We are all women, and some women may be able to relate to you. Luckily, I can't relate to you in that scenario. But let's break this down. So she's saying that she had a man who she was in love with, and he was her love interest for years, but he was cheating on her, doing her wrong. So she started creeping with her next door neighbor. They were friends, but then they became, sexually active. I don't know if I could say that on YouTube, but they became active, right? And so after that, she ended up being pregnant, and she didn't know which one was the father. So she just decided to leave Ohio and move to California. Now, I got to be real. For her to be saying that, to be honest with you, first of all, I I love transparency. So I got to tip my hat off to her for being real. You know what I mean? I got to give her that much. Is that she kept it real about the situation. So I got to give her that much and tip my hat to her for at least being real about it and saying that I didn't know who the father was, so I just left. That's not okay, but at least she kept it real and said that on the show. Let's keep watching.
Like you like Tina Turner ran, or like?
And I just packed up all my. He wasn't my neighbor no more.
Okay, and so when you left, the boyfriend, did he think that he was Andre's dad?
He knew. He told me, he was like, because I waited like 3 or 4 months trying to figure it out, and then he was like, I think you're pregnant, and I was like, well, I think you'll never find out, and I left.
So when did you find out, and how did you find out who Andre's dad was?
I haven't yet.
What?
Andre still doesn't know if.
Sorry, y'all, but she still, to this day, does not know who her oldest son's dad is. Like I said, this is a no judgment zone, but that is very wrong. And you guys will understand why as we continue to watch this video. That's why I said it's 3 hours, so it's going to be about a 3-part video, because it's a lot to get into and it's a lot to unpack, but it's a woman that's just keeping it real, and I respect that. I respect that. We are not all perfect. We make mistakes, and for her to sit there with her head held high and directly address her mistakes and not hide that, I feel like she's keeping it real. Mind you, this is right after she finally saw her grandson, and Krishan let her in and everything. So it just makes me feel like she in a place of just keeping it real, and I love that.
Confiding neighbor who confided in you, or the boyfriend is his dad?
No.
But did you not ever think that it was important that he know who his dad was?
I did, and I don't know. I just felt like they didn't try to make a big deal out of it, so I didn't want any complications with anybody trying to tell me that I couldn't go or couldn't leave the state. So.
But Andre's now 32, so this is 3 decades later.
How do you know how? No.
I mean,
yeah.
And so
it's
in
pretty
3,
bad.
so in 3
3
decades,
decades.
In my life, yeah.
So in 3 decades, has he not want to know who his dad is?
Well, he went to jail at 16, and then I informed him that he was in jail and asked him if he wanted to do a DNA test while he was in there, and he was to no avail. So a couple of times.
Is he out now?
Andre's out now. He's been out 5 years.
He's out now. And so now that he's been out for 5 years, has he in any of that time wanted to see or pursue who his dad is?
I think he kind of just like looked at him and kind of just like, oh, okay, the look is there. So I think he's just assuming, but he has no. On my show, we've actually decided to do it on the show. So
okay.
We're gonna get to the show later. Mm-hmm. Okay, so
on her show, she's going to find out who her 32-year-old son's father is. Okay.
After you had Andre's 2, you come here with Andre. You're raising Andre, and you're raising him in the Valley.
Yes.
Okay. So then 4 years later, you have your daughter, and so tell me about that pregnancy, her father, and how that came about.
So I met her father about 2 years after being here. And within 6 months, we were living together.
Okay.
He lived in Los Angeles. I lived in the Valley. And I actually met him at Larry Parker's. And
not Larry Parker, the commercial attorney.
No, the remember the little spot that used to be.
I'm not from here. I'm from Northern California.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was like a little popping spot in Beverly Hills, and he was with a couple of his friends, and we hit it off and things went good. And next thing you know, I moved in. Didn't know that I knew he had a kid, but I didn't know that, the kid was like less than 1 year old, maybe. The baby mom pulled up. After 6 months, I'm already living there. I went outside, bing, bam, bam. And that wasn't the smartest thing to do, but I got pregnant right after that.
And so when you got pregnant by him, were you still with him, or how long after?
I was living with him when I got pregnant.
And then how long after you got pregnant did he leave?
So 6 months into the pregnancy, I came home from work. He was keeping Andre. Andre was upstairs at his mom's, and him and his baby mama was on the couch having sex.
The daughter's dad was having sex with his girlfriend?
Baby mama, the one that I already fought for my love and proved my love and my loyalty.
On the couch where you're staying?
On the couch where I'm now living.
How y'all feeling?
Andre?
How y'all feeling about this?
Upstairs.
With whose mom? His mom?
Yeah, so they own the building. They own the whole duplex. Yeah.
Okay. So then what happened? So then I'm assuming you leave.
Wait a minute. So with Callie's dad, this Callie's dad that she talking about, she was into it with because first it was Andre, then Callie, then Jonathan. So this is Callie's dad that she's talking about, that she called him cheating. Callie was upstairs. The mother owned the building. So Callie was upstairs while the father was downstairs cheating on. Look at this, ridiculous. Look at this, y'all. It's ridiculous. But no, seriously, while she was at work, he was cheating on her with another woman, I guess the woman who she was fighting with anyway. And this is how she ended up leaving Callie's dad. Now let's continue. Because this happens to a lot of Black women. And this happens to a lot of women, period. So let's continue this story.
No, I was ready to go crazy and I started breaking stuff and then they left.
Who, the boy, the baby dad,
my baby dad,
and his previous baby mom.
His previous baby mom.
And then now you're still there.
They got in the car and they drove off and left her dirty ass panties on the floor.
Oh Lord!
And this is whose house though? Your guys.
This was his house, our house together. Yeah,
so,
he was already living there.
And the mom's
prior to that, she lived there.
And the mom's upstairs with Andre.
Don't know nothing that's going on.
So then, does he come home? I'm assuming he comes home.
No, absolutely not.
He never comes back.
No.
What?
So then, do you stay in that place?
I stayed there for a little bit. I found another place. He helped me get another place, and I kept going pregnant.
So Andre, so you were together with this.
So when she called this nigga cheating, he left and then never came back. That's some. I gotta be honest. That's some punk ass shit. Period. But you to just leave and never come back. But I guess he made up for it because he helped her find a place to stay. Like, still, did he apologize? Did he give her an apology or anything? Like, she come in and catch you, the baby upstairs, you downstairs, you and the woman ride off, and the woman dirty underwear still on the floor in the apartment that y'all living in, that y'all trying to make a family in, that she believing in you in, and you just dip. I'm trying to stop cursing, but that's some PAS. And y'all can know the abbreviation because I just said it.
Guy for how long?
About a year.
And so Andre came to know him as his stepdad?
Yep, pretty much.
And so then how do you explain to Andre that baby daddy number 2, who was there, is now gone and not coming back?
I don't even think I even got into the understanding. I don't even think I even explained it. I was going through my own emotions and, in pain that like, damn, I'm about to have 2 kids. No baby daddy.
And at the time you were what, 21?
Yep.
And so you're 21, Andre, who doesn't know his dad, who relocated from Ohio, started a whole new life, now with you and this stepdad, father figure, now don't have him, and now you're with him and another kid by yourself.
Right.
Wow.
Okay. At that time, where's your parents? Do you have a relationship with them?
Both my parents are in Ohio at the time.
Okay.
So I came out with an aunt and an uncle that lived here.
Mhm.
Okay.
And what were your parents checking on you? What was your relationship with them?
Actually, my dad had relocated me here because I was going through something with the boyfriend and the baby daddy drama in Ohio, and that was like the best thing for me to just get away from it all. So I moved to California with them, and I came out here, and I thought I was gonna start doing some of the acting, and got sidetracked in love.
Mm. But was your pursuit of coming out here for a better life for you and your son, or was it to pursue acting, or both? And was your decision to stay in it when you were going through so much turmoil because you were still following a dream, or because you just didn't want to go back?
I didn't want to go back, and I definitely wanted to pursue my dream, and I definitely wanted, I didn't have my mom and dad. I didn't have either of them either. So I wanted to make sure that, my kids were with me at all times.
Okay.
My mom was on drugs for a long time. And we had some problems with my stepdad. So it just kind of made me like really overprotective of the kids. So I wouldn't leave them with anyone.
Okay.
And so what was your relationship with your
I
stepdad?
respect that.
My stepdad?
Yeah, well, what were the problems with him?
He was he was on drugs too. We're gonna say that I have sisters and brothers that are his children. So, now that I'm older, I try to spare them. Before, when I was just all about vengeance, I was just like, he tried to do this to me and you guys don't care. But he's been delivered and changed his life. So I try not to like make him look like a child molester, but that was the situation. And my mom was on drugs, they were on drugs. So
okay, so basically that's what happened. The mother and the father and the stepfather were on drugs, and she's saying because she cares about her siblings, and that happened a long time ago, that she does her best to try to not make him look like a child molester. But basically, that's what happened. He tried to do that. So, okay, so now that's her backstory of her life, of what she went through. And now she's telling us the backstory of Blueface life and what he went through. And this all ties together, y'all. So this a reason why I'm showing y'all this first. This gonna be a couple of parts because we're not gonna sit here and watch the whole 3 hours. We're gonna break it down into 3 different videos.
there was a lot going on up until I was like 13 years old.
But he tried to molest you, or you were molested?
He tried. I was not molested.
Okay.
And so when you told your mom, because I've been very open in my book and open with my fans, that I was molested, and when I told my mom, she didn't believe me. Did your mother believe you?
She didn't believe me. And I sat, in front of her and him and told her what was going on. And I was like, oh, thank God that's off my chest. Something's getting ready to happen. But me and my dad are like this. So I feel like now that I'm older, I realize that maybe she took that as I'm trying to do something to get, her apart from this man. There was a lot of things that I feel like she, that just gave her doubt.
And so, okay, so going back to where you are now, you're with your young daughter, your son, and you're living together as a single mother of 2 in LA with no family. Your mother, is your relationship with her good, or is it still strained from when the stepfather situation happened and she not believing you?
It's always been like off and on. She did, however, come out and relocate back out here and live with me to get back to California, because this is kind of I was an Air Force brat, so it kind of started with my dad moving us out here when I lived out here at 5. So up until between 5 to like 13, I lived in California.
Okay.
So I was actually just coming back.
So what were you doing for work when you were out here as a single mom with 2 kids?
I've always been a retail manager for somebody. So I started off in like the Learners and the 579.
Okay.
So most of my jobs have been like retail management.
Okay.
And then, so now you have the 2 kids, you're out here in LA, and then you meet Jonathan's father. What's his name?
Jonathan.
Now, this is important. This is important because now we're getting to Jonathan. I don't want to make it like the other children's story is not important, because their story is just as important. But you know, we know Blueface bleed them. That's who we know. That's who made Krishan who she is. That's who wrote the song Rainy Days. So it's very interesting for me. And at this point in me watching the interview and the way that she is talking to him, she is completely 100% open, and I respect that. Y'all, please continue to put the ones in the chat if everything is going good. If you can hear me, if you can see the TV, if you can get the content that I'm giving you, please continue to put ones in the content. Thank you, me in the chat. Thank you so much, Israel. You know I love you, and we're gonna talk. But I'm glad that she had somebody to go to, because she said that that was her stepdad who tried to do that or whatever to her. And she ended up having her dad. She said, me and my dad are like this, her biological dad. So she ended up having him as somebody to go to and somebody to lean on in the situation. So I'm glad that she had that. And then she said that her mother was kind of off and on with it, but she did end up moving her mother out to California to, live with her, to help her or whatever. So that's great that came, that they have dealt with that. So then he says, then you move out here and you get pregnant with Jonathan. What's his father's name? And his father's name is Jonathan. So let's continue.
Jonathan. So Jonathan Sr. You meet Jonathan Sr. where?
I met Jonathan at the mall at work.
Now, was he a Crip too?
No, he's a good guy. He's always been on the straight and narrow. All his friends.
And what made you choose this guy? Like, what was it about Jonathan's dad that you said, okay, I like him and I'm going to pursue a relationship with him?
I just have this like vanilla thing I do. I just love vanilla and like vanilla ice cream. I just love. He's vanilla, and he was just so vanilla.
Really?
You see my husband back there? He just was.
But I mean, you had Andre when you were getting comforted by the neighbor.
Yep, he was yellow too.
Then you ran away like Tina Turner and ran into the arms of another man.
Yes, and he was like
who cheated on you with
6'4", caramel, amazing.
But slept with his first baby mom on the couch in the house that you lived in.
We just talking about how he lived. I ain't saying I want to go back there. I'm just
trying to establish a pattern because at some point, they say the definition of insanity.
There is a pattern. This is why I feel like Jason Lee did good on this interview, because there is a pattern, and he's about to talk about the definition of insanity.
You do the same thing over and over and expect different results. You had so much vanilla. You had so much vanilla. We live in a world of 31 flavors. How do you choose the same pattern to end up in the same situation?
Because under 30 years old, you shouldn't be choosing at all.
Facts. I do agree with under 30 years old, you should not be choosing at all. Put a 1 in the comments if you agree with that or if you disagree. I know people who were high school sweethearts and they married and they stayed together, and 90 to 100 years old still staying together and passing away together in a warm bed. You know what I'm saying? Like the what's that movie? The Notebook. You know what I mean? So I know that it is possible that it can happen, but I do also feel like, I think it's our prefrontal cortex does not completely develop until we're almost 30. So I do agree with that. Replay gang, put hashtag replay gang and how you feel about that. If you in the comments now, put a 1 if you agree, put a 2 if you disagree, respectfully.
You're enjoying your life and trying to figure out what's going on with yourself, and I was too focused on finding a dad for Andre or a situation that looked like, you know what I'm saying, I had it together or we a family or whatever. And once you get into that cycle, it's just like, damn, I have to make this work. I have to make this not look like there's no man in the house, no father figure for these kids.
Yeah.
So,
but at some point when you're going through those examples, like after the first one, do you find yourself in a cycle again? And after the second one, how do you not break that cycle then?
Good
I
question.
didn't break the cycle.
Yeah.
You always need a helpmate. It's set up for you to fail if you don't have a helpmate. So the cycle kept continuing because obviously, you know, back then shit rent was still $1,700. I have 3 kids. I don't have daycare for everybody. So you still need help. It was really about the helpmate.
But why did you feel you needed help from a man and not public assistance or some other thing?
I had that too.
But you still needed more help.
Yes, I needed not just help. I mean, sometimes I worked late hours. So that was, you know, when you work in the mall, you're not out of there till 10 o'clock sometimes. So I needed somebody to be home, help, you know, put the kids in the bed, and make sure the homework was done, stuff like that.
So after you moved out with your daughters, from your daughter's father, and you're 21 now, you have the 2 kids, you're now living with who? You're by yourself and the 2 kids?
I was by myself with the 2 kids
Okay,
for a while.
and what was that period like? Was there any peace? Were you able to find any peace without the man?
No.
Wow.
I'm like Jonathan. I have to have somebody.
Oh,
I'm
that's what I mean when I say she's keeping it so real. She said no, she wasn't happy. She said, I'm like Jonathan. I have to have somebody. That's what she just said. I'm like Jonathan. I have to have somebody. So that's very, very real. And I can honestly see and believe that because I think that I heard Jonathan actually say on his interview with Jason Lee is that he needs a woman. He said, I realized that, and I'll show y'all the video. He said that he realized that he needs a woman. So he was being silly and naming some other things that he needed the woman to do, but I feel like take the dog out and clean the house. He was making like, what can I say? He was making comments in like being silly, but he did say that he does need a woman in his life. So for her to recognize that is a big thing. I'm glad that she recognizes it, but let's see if she does anything about it. How does she feel about it? What can she do to fix it? Because life is all about addressing what the problem is so that you can fix it, so that you can change it. At least that's how I feel from my perspective.
not good to do by myself.
Okay. And when did you acknowledge that? When did you know that?
Probably after I divorced his dad.
But did you know before Jonathan's dad that you needed to be with a man? Like, is that you felt like you needed to be with somebody?
Yeah, pretty much I've always known. I think when I was like 12 or 13 years old, I'd fantasized about a family with kids and, you know, the home that you don't have, the home that you dream about. So absolutely.
Okay. And so then 3 years after you have the daughter, you have Jonathan.
Yes.
And so now here.
Okay, Carlissa, I get it. I understand. You were fighting. This lady was fighting because a lot of people, and this is why I want to say this as well. Sorry, y'all, I got my sports wrong. But this is why I want to say this as well, because a lot of people make fun of the Black woman for saying, oh, she has this many children and this many baby fathers. Just like, you know, they kind of laughed at the fact in the beginning of the interview that she has 3 children with 3 baby fathers. But this is literally her telling him that she was continuing to try to find a husband or find a helpmate, find a man and a father for her children because she wanted to give them and herself the life that you dream about, the life that you didn't have. That's what she was trying to do. But then again, there's no manual to parenting. There's no manual to it. So just because she's doing the opposite of what she saw her parents do doesn't mean that she corrected everything, because even with you going against the grain, there's other obstacles that can come in the way as well. Nothing will ever be absolutely perfect. You know what I'm saying? Nothing will. But when your heart is in the right place and you are genuine in a situation, I feel like God give you grace. I do. let's continue. Shout out to Carlissa for keeping it real.
What we in the future know as Blueface. So Jonathan comes. Now you're back in the valley.
I'm in the valley with his dad.
Okay, and so
For a very short. So when we left the valley, Jonathan was like 6 weeks old.
Okay.
And then where did you guys go?
We moved to an apartment in Los Angeles.
And Jonathan's dad stayed there.
Yes. So we lived together in Los Angeles for probably 6 months to a year.
So with all these situations, you literally are with somebody for however long period of time, you get pregnant, and then they leave or you
On
leave.
that third time, I said, oh, hell no, we have to get married. I can't. Jonathan's dad wanted a kid, and I already had two. And he really, really wanted a kid.
Mhm.
So that was my, if I'm going to do this, we need to be married. I'm not going to have, a third kid and not be in a stable situation. So we got married before Jonathan was even thought of.
Okay, so you're married.
So they got married before Jonathan was even thought of, because that was her attempt to break the cycle that she noticed that herself was going in. So she did make an attempt to break the cycle. Okay, let's keep going.
You have Jonathan, and then how long after you have Jonathan is it over?
He was about 1.
Including the marriage.
Including the marriage.
What?
So we were married for probably like maybe a year or two before we had Jonathan.
And then you have Jonathan. Then a year after that, it's over.
Correct.
Where did it go wrong?
He just was. He had a gambling problem, and it was just always debt after debt. And after he took the rent money that one last time to take it to Vegas, I just gave up. Like,
okay,
I can't do this.
And then how did you explain to Andre, your daughter, and Jonathan that now you're moving again?
The craziest thing is that I think they started to see the pattern and just like, oh, here she goes again.
Damn.
You think they thought that?
I feel like nobody ever had to say anything. I could just look at them and just like see the disappointment.
This is the question I have, because I'm in this weird place of, I'm at 46. I'm like, do I want to have a kid? I keep talking about having a kid. I keep putting real thought into it. But the reason why I have chosen not to have one now yet is because I haven't felt, I'm stable for sure, money, career, all that. But I haven't felt that I'm really genuinely going to give them the time and attention that they need to be parented in a way that my parents were not able to parent for me. My mother was on drugs. She became a prostitute. We got addicted. I ended up in foster care, came home, was in the streets all the time and just trying to find myself and figure things out.
Okay.
And even though my life is stable when I'm not on drugs and all that, I just know that like I'm so career focused and wanting my freedom that I don't know that I'll be able to give myself that way.
Okay.
This is a question that I want to ask, because now we've kind of talked about like the upbringing of these 3 young kids. What is that look in a kid's eye when you know you're getting ready to put them through another life change and they're looking at you as somebody they expect to always have their back and make sure that they're stable, make sure that they feel safe, but mom is on the run again?
It's a horrible feeling.
It looked, if I had to remember, it looked desperate. Like,
yep.
Like they could almost sense like, oh my God, who's gonna help her now? Mm-hmm. Andre always looked like, what are we gonna do?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And even at like 7 years old, he always looked like, what are we gonna do now? Mm-hmm. So,
how did you figure it out?
Figure what out?
Like survival.
I leaned a lot on God, and I stick to just keep moving. If you just keep going, He'll meet you there. Mm-hmm.
Y'all heard what she just said. The last thing that she just said. I want to go ahead and stop the live there, because when I was watching that interview, and this was back in like December, when I was watching that interview, I'm going to put the light here so y'all can see me a little bit better because the sun going down. But when I was watching that interview, that made me cry. I'm gonna run it back one more time, a couple seconds, so y'all can hear what she just said, because we're gonna pick back up on this in a little
What are we
bit.
gonna do?
But listen.
And yeah, even at like 7 years old, he always looked like, what are we gonna do now? So,
How did you figure it out?
figure what out?
Like survival.
I leaned a lot on God, and I stick to just keep moving. If you just keep going, He'll meet you there. But I was fortunate.
That meant so much to me, y'all, that made me break down in tears when I heard that last year. If you just keep moving, God will meet you there. And that's facts. That is facts. And there have been times in my life where I wish that I would have did that. Because you can be afraid of what's going to happen next. But if you just keep going, God will meet you there. And I believe that. And y'all know I say all the time, like, I'm not a church lady and all this and that, because, you know, I know that there's different type of women in this world, and uh, some women give like people who believe or believers a bad name for the way that they act and their rhetoric and things like that. But when she said, if you just keep going, God will meet you there, man, I just like broke down, because I felt like I wish I would have heard that like a month before that interview even happened or came out. And that's my lesson that I feel like God is teaching me. And that's my lesson that I'm willing and ready to learn this year, so that I don't have to continue to make the same mistakes. I even inboxed her after I heard that. That's how much it affected me. When she said, if you just keep going, God will meet you there. And for the rest of my life, I will always keep that in my heart, that if I just keep going, God will meet me there. She literally was not a perfect mom. She's going to continue to go on in this interview and talk about things that have happened, you know, with Blueface and his siblings and everything like that, like bad choices that she made. And I respect her for being honest. But y'all know I said I want to keep this video at like an hour. I want to keep my videos around an hour, hour and a half. And we can break this up into maybe 3 parts where we watch this interview. If y'all want me to go ahead and finish the rest, the next live, just put that in the comments and I will do that. If y'all have any ideas on any content that y'all want to see from me, put it in the comments and I'll do that. If y'all want to reach out to me in any shape, way, or form, my email let me see. I know I got it, posted. My email and my Instagram is this right here. If you got any ideas or anything like that, or anything that you want to talk to me about, because you know I talk a lot on my channel about the things that I want to do. And if you just keep going, God will meet you there. It's so true. And I felt the conviction from that. I did. I felt convicted strongly from that, because it doesn't matter what a person tells you. It doesn't matter what a person on this earth tell you. Oh, you're gonna lose your apartment, or oh, you don't have a way to pay your rent, or oh, you know, it'll be easier for you to do it this way. Sometimes you just need to let your faith be stronger than what's around you, and just keep going, because God will meet you there. And that's facts. So that's what I want to end on today. And I want everybody to take that in, no matter what you're going through, no matter what. Just remember, if you just keep going, God will meet you there. And Lord, I get it. I get it. I love y'all. I'll see y'all next time. Hit me up if y'all to reach out to me. If y'all got any ideas on the content I should produce next, hit me up, y'all.
But remember, if you just keep going, God will meet you there. And I should have kept going. But I'm going to correct that, and I'm not going to let that happen again. I'm not going to continue that cycle. I'm going to keep going because I know God going to meet me there. I love y'all so much. Y'all have a good night. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace.